Hey there, it's a King Coral, and let's talk about what I experienced yesterday because yesterday was one of the most beautiful days of my life, and I didn't win the lottery. I didn't go to my favorite concert. I didn't do anything different than having a regular day, but something happened inside of me, and I want to talk about that. So, there's this quote that I heard years ago about two frogs trying to climb the Eiffel Tower, and there was a bunch of frogs around the Eiffel Tower trying to watch these two frogs, and they kept saying, "You can't do it, no frog ever did it." The two frogs tried to climb up, and one of them fell down and the other one made it to the top. So how did that frog made it to the top? He was deaf. He didn't hear that these other frogs kept saying, "You can't do it, you can't do it." Because he didn't know that, he thought they were cheering for him, that he can do it. My whole life, since I ever heard that quote years back, I kept saying to myself and thinking, how will I ever get there to the point where I can be the deaf frog without being deaf? And this can be really hard, especially when people that are close to you belittle you or tell you you can't do this because they know a past version of you, right? So just because you're late all the time doesn't mean you're going to be late all the time in the future, because you can work on yourself, you can improve certain skills. And something that I noticed looking back in my life, there were things where I thought this is impossible. Like there was a time where all kinds of voices sounded the same to me: Justin Bieber, Kanye West. I was like, how do people hear them on the radio and they know which artist it is performed by? And years later, I was the only one in my whole grade to achieve full score on the listening exercise in our English exam in a foreign language. Like, English is not my mother language. So looking at where I was coming from to where I made it to the point where I can think in English and I can have fluent conversations in English, this seemed impossible. And the only way that I was able to do this was because I was continuously working and practicing, and I didn't care about the setbacks because my goal and vision was bigger than that. And over the past year, and especially these past months, I've been alone. I've been solo traveling. I've been doing so many uncomfortable things, getting out of my comfort zone, so many different smaller kind of things, and it didn't feel comfortable at all. Like, I felt lonely. I stopped dating and all that kind of stuff. I didn't really meet my friends. I was alone at home trying to figure things out, starting this YouTube channel, just trying to find myself. And what I experienced yesterday was exactly what I've always wanted to achieve. This kind of mindset where I feel like, okay, I can tell other people, strangers, about my story and about what I want to achieve. And no matter what they say, whether it's positive or negative, it's not going to affect me personally. Like, when I was younger, or just a couple weeks or months ago, I would take things very personal, like especially people that are close to me, and they would say something, and now I know if someone says something negative about you, this is a problem that they have. And I knew this, but now I know this for real, and this is my reality now. I'm accepting myself, I'm loving myself, and I'm loving who I am becoming, and I want to help others reach that stage too, because I barely spent any money these past months, and I've never felt this happy before. And so many people, so many social media, like so many other people, they're like, oh, you need to have a big car, you need to have six-figure income to be happy, like all these things. And I was on this journey by myself trying to see, okay, these basic tasks, like my last video where I mentioned how I made annoying tasks fun or enjoyable for myself. I think it's about trying to be happy as your default state of mind, of waking up and being happy. And I'm not saying like everything is nice and you're happy every day. There will be sad days, and it's okay to cry, it's okay to be sad for a time, but it's also important to know how to get back up, how to get back in your mode of trying to live your life. You don't have to stress yourself. Like I'm saying, like, if you want to change your life, you need to make the smallest changes, and it might seem stupid for you. It's kind of like seeing rooms, different kinds of rooms with different kinds of temperatures. And let's say it's kind of like a maze, and the first room is all the way to the left and the hottest room is all the way to the right. So if you go from, I don't know, 0 degrees Celsius or like 40 degrees Fahrenheit to 100 degrees Fahrenheit or 40 degrees Celsius, I don't care, you will notice a difference in temperature. But you will not go from being homeless to having 6 figures or $1 million home. You won't. And you will face so many setbacks going from one room to the other, because every room is a challenge. And some challenges might be easier for you and some challenges might be harder for you. It's kind of like a video game trying to go from one level to level 100. You're not going there by playing one game. It's like 100 different kinds of levels, and some levels might be easier and you might achieve them in a day, in a week, in a month, and there might be harder ones where you will sit there for a month or 12 months or 3 years. I don't know, but this can be hard because we can't say a specific time. Like, some people grow faster in one thing, others grow faster in another thing. I'm just saying, don't feel like you're too slow or other people are evolving faster or something. Don't stress yourself. Take the time by yourself and get uncomfortable to be comfortable. Like, now I don't feel, there was a time when I went to the gym, the person before me that was working out used 80 kilograms. And I'm starting out at the gym, like I barely have any muscles, and I would have to go to the lowest of like 5 kilograms. I would feel stupid in the beginning, like not stupid, but weak or embarrassed about myself. Like, we are holding ourselves back because we feel embarrassed, because we are scared of failure, because we are scared of what other people think about us. And so many things that hold us back and that make us dress a certain way because we don't want to feel our coworkers to talk about what we are dressing or talk bad about ourselves, or someone to be jealous. We don't want to talk about how much money we make because we feel like maybe people are going to try to use us to get more money, or feel guilty that we need to give them money or something. Like, letting go of all of these things. I let go of attachments, of people, of things that matter to me and things that were good to let go of. And this is a part of life, letting go. And it's okay to let go, and you should not feel guilty about letting go. And especially with the challenge that I made about minimalism, now I'm trying to sell things. And besides having that feeling inside of me, I could already tell that I'm attracting a different kind of energy. If you put a different kind of energy out there, if you have no confidence, you will not get a raise at work because you are not embodying that you are deserving a raise. So you're just sitting there quietly. And what I experienced yesterday, I was making sales of things that I'm trying to sell online. I got so many views on my last reel, and so many things that happened on that day yesterday. And it wasn't even that the weather was really nice or anything. Like, I was just at home, I was taking a walk, all these things, and it just happened inside of me. And it was like a combination of all these experiences that I made, especially over the last year, and all these situations that I put myself into. And now I know what my value is, I know myself, and I don't feel insecure if someone else is trying to convince me that I don't have a certain value. And that is something that I want you to also feel that way, because it's beautiful. And let's be the first people in your family to get a college degree, first person in your family to get a six-pack, first person in your family to be vegan, to travel the world, to live abroad, to, I don't know, get married or never get married, like something, find connections and also disconnect. And there was a time where I always felt like I needed connection because I seek it so much. And I don't care if you're like an introverted person or extroverted person, it is so important that you spend a specific time by yourself. Whether that is pleasing or unpleasant for you, deal with yourself to figure out your why in your life. What is driving you? What's your fuel that wants to wake you up every morning? Like, everyone has that. And to some people this is natural because they had that dream since they were little, and I think most people have certain dreams since they're little, but the older you get, the more you let society and the people around you kind of like control your mind and what you think you're capable of, the more likely you're going to limit yourself to that. You grow up in the ghetto, and the people on the other side, the richer people or your government, like they keep pointing at you and they're like, yeah, like all of you are unemployed. If you let others control your mind and limit you to yourself, you're going to stay there in that bubble of not getting out and staying there and just repeating the cycle over and over again. And it's like, do you want to break that cycle? And that's why I'm saying you are the most important person in your life, because only your purpose and you need to be here for yourself. This is a journey where you have nothing to lose and everything to gain. Because even if you have a goal and you're scared that you're going to fail, it could be that that goal is going to change, and the skill set that you develop for reaching that goal, you're going to apply and use that for something else. I mentioned that previously in videos where I said, I wanted to get married with Justin Bieber. That's what made me stay committed to learning English, even though I had so many setbacks. And now I didn't marry Justin Bieber, but I developed the skill set of being able to speak English, and now I'm able to make videos on YouTube in English, one of the world languages, and I'm able to reach way more people because of that. So what I'm saying is, don't feel scared of failure, because you cannot fail. Every failure is a learning. Let's reprogram our mind. We're told in school based on our grades that are labeled, you failed in this subject and this, but what they don't talk about is, why did you fail? Did you not understand the way that teacher was explaining it to you? Did you not pay attention? Was there something at home happening? There are so many reasons, so you should not be so hard on yourself and saying like, oh, I can't do this and I can't do this. And all these experiences make us feel like, okay, I'm never going to try this and I'm never going to try that. And I have sweaty hands, and there were times at the gym where I was working out and there would be sweat stains on every machine that I was using, and of course I would clean it up, but I would always feel so embarrassed as soon as I would let go and everyone around me could see that there were sweat stains. But first of all, it is very normal to sweat when you're working out, and second of all, I have sweaty hands. That's just the way it is. There's different kinds of therapies that you can do to kind of like get rid of sweaty hands that I might start doing, because when I get really stressed, it is so much that like the whole paper gets wet and stuff. But anyways, that, because I had sweaty hands helped me back from doing dancing classes because I didn't want to touch people's hands. I didn't date because I didn't want to touch, because I was like, if I'm in a relationship, I gotta hold hands with that partner, and I don't want to hold hands. It was more difficult for me to meet other people, because usually the first time you meet a person, you're greeting them with your hand. So that held me back. And I was very extroverted as a kid, and that just changed because of that. And I'm like, I don't want to limit myself to my insecurities, to how other people perceive me, what other people say about me. I don't care if someone talks about my back and says like, oh, I'm this and that, because I know who I am, and the people that are close to me, they also know who I am, and that's all that matters. I don't care about other, because those people that talk bad about you are usually people you don't even want to be friends with, so you don't want to attract those people. And I noticed since yesterday, like I'm attracting a different kind of energy, and I don't want to bring that out here for you too, to reach that. And you should definitely give it a thumbs up if you like this video, and stay tuned for the next video. I'm excited for this journey of 2024, what I'm able to reach, what you are able to reach, and what we are able to create with this community of supporting each other and growing or studying content creation, any kind of thing. I'm really excited for. See you in the next video. Bye.